guys, and welcome to another episode of
Mum
and Son. I'm Jay, I'm the son.
and I'm Alicia, and I'm the mum.
I like the way I look to you like I'm Jay and I'm the son.
You
I
do
look
that
to
all
there,
the
I'm Jay
time
and I'm the son.
to confuse
Yeah.
people.
I'm Jay and I'm the son. Alicia's the mom. Yeah. We always get it
Welcome
right
back.
eventually. But
Yeah.
most of you guys probably know by now. But welcome back, exactly just as Alicia said. Welcome back again. So today's one, we're talking about
Responsibility.
We're talking about responsibility, and if you haven't already, feel free please to check everything else that we've done. You see, we're talking about many subjects and topics. The responsibility one was interesting to talk about because we did one previously about a topic that responsibility start to spill into it a bit. So we thought, let's not let the cat out of the bag or make that episode too long.
Too deep into
it
responsibility.
its own thing.
Definitely.
It deserves its own thing.
Yeah,
so,
it did. Yeah. So,
this is going to be a good one because the more I'm going through life, the more I'm realizing responsibility
is key,
and how wanting to be responsible for everything that goes on is hard to do.
Sure.
When things don't go the way you want them to.
Yeah.
That's a real fight with yourself.
It is because, you know, we want to blame other people, let's face it. We want to blame everything that's going on around.
Yeah.
Rather than say we have to be responsible. And I mean responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing. Why do you have to be responsible for every single thing? Because until you are, you're not really going to truly grow as a person.
Yeah.
You're not truly going to evolve. And you are going to hinder your life's progress. That's what I would say.
It's true.
You know, it's a difficult thing to take on board if you have been the type of person that has blamed others. You know, that everything is someone else's fault or everything going on in your life, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it's because someone else did this, someone else said that, this happened to me, that happened to me. Oh, this took place if it hadn't, and we can go on forever. No. But the day that you say, you know what, I am responsible for everything going on in my life, and that means good or bad. That's the big step. Good or bad.
That is so true.
Oh my gosh, can you take on that response? You'll be thinking, no way. Surely I can't be responsible for even the bad things going on in my life. You may not have had a hand in them, but they're part of your life's journey.
And you know the truth, even if something bad to whatever extent it happens to you in whichever way, you are responsible for how you respond and react to it.
Correct. And
I remember, you know what, I forgot the guy's name, but I forgot the guy's, actually no.
Is it a book?
Actually, you know what, like this one will be kind of a good one type of thing. I didn't even expect to really say this, but it just came to my head.
Okay.
Do you remember that guy for the Great Britain team, the runner? I think his name was James. Not James Duke Ellington, but it was James Ellington or something like that. Mixed race guy. He had an accident on a moped.
Isn't that Duke Ellington?
Yeah. Ellington, something, yeah.
Ellington.
Yeah, I forgot his first name, but I think his last name could be Ellington. And he went abroad.
Yes.
And then he had an accident on his moped.
Yes.
And then he got into a situation where literally
he was
even lucky to walk again because he had smashed bones in his body, everything so much.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember him saying, I'm going to work on myself again to come back and run track again. And you got to think that even if obviously he didn't want that to happen to him, he was still responsible for how he responded to the fact that it happened to him.
And then what he was going to do about
how life is going to be still. Because some people would go, that isn't fair. Life has done me over, and
I'm done.
it could drive him to a dark place.
Yeah.
But for him, he took the responsibility, maybe because to some extent he might have been an athlete, so he had a mental toughness, but he took responsibility and said, I'm not going to even focus on why it happened or anything. I'm just going to work on myself, and I'm going to get back on that track and everything. And I know a few months or maybe a year or so later, he actually did run again.
He did run again
on the track, and it was whoa, this is.
It was unbelievable because
it was shocking.
There was even doubt that he was ever going to be able to walk.
Yeah, even walk.
Let alone
but he was talking about competing
and getting into the team.
Yeah, and that was a shocker. But that showed that he took responsibility. That he decided how he was going to respond and react.
Yeah,
from that happening.
I love that
in his life, and that's what we mean when. Even
we
if
say
something
take
happens,
responsibility of negative things.
Yeah. Because
even tragedies, nobody wants a tragedy to come into their life in any way.
No.
But when, like you've just said, when you take responsibility even for a negative thing, you're taking responsibility. Is it going to condemn you to the point where you self-destruct?
Yeah.
Or are you going to find strength in that tragedy to allow you to say, I will be responsible for the next step?
Yeah, that's exactly the next step.
Of what has happened and how you're going to deal with it or cope with it. We're not saying you're responsible. No, taking responsibility is, as you said, for a negative thing, being responsible for how you react and how you take things forward from that point on.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's absolutely true. And because most of the time we are thinking to ourselves, we're happy to take responsibility when it's all good. It's great. Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Like, I'm happy. But when it's something that isn't, we most of the time we're going to blame someone, or is this fault? We all know about, it could be a list of, it's the government, or it's the weather, or it's like this thing that I didn't see happening, or someone I trust, they backstabbed me, or my family, or blah 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 blah. But what you are ultimately responsible for is the choices you make on how you choose to, as you said, move forward. True. How you the decisions that you make to actually accommodate
whatever that is that you're taking responsibility for.
Because that is, that's a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
That is a powerful thing, because you're not trying to take control of the external factors that could be happening that you have no control over.
Have no control over,
But you're saying, hey, I know that my power and what I can control is
within me,
how
and I will use this situation or circumstance to grow, or to allow me to go forward in a way that, should strengthen you.
Yeah.
Should, allow you to not become self-destructive.
Yeah.
Or go down a very negative path, which can happen.
It's so true. It's really true. And I remember someone saying that when you take responsibility, maturity happens from that. Because
from
it's
that
almost
point.
You mature in your thinking, in your outlook. You become even wiser.
Yeah.
Because of the experience.
Yeah, you just grow.
You grow.
From that immediate decision that I'm going to be responsible from this moment on. You just become another person. Because you're not looking for blame in others or in your life circumstance.
That's exactly
isn't it? You're owning it, regardless of what it is.
And do you know what? When you're when you're looking or you're blaming or pinpointing things on others, sometimes you could even be. It's almost like you've given that thing a permission to still hold.
Correct.
Something over you.
You're giving others power.
Or others power.
Yeah. Like, even say in a relationship, if somebody feels, you know, this other person has treated me this way or that way, and you know, you've had enough and things like that, and you're trying to change them, but you can't change them. And you know, it's like you're trying to fix the external, but what you really have to do is work on yourself. That's the only thing left for you to do, to work on yourself, to take responsibility of the situation. You can't take the responsibility of another person. You can only take the responsibility of yourself or for yourself. And if you make a decision to do so, you'll find that things, as I would say, the external starts to change to align itself with the positive choices and decisions you're going to make from there on, because you're owning it. You know, you might say, why do I need to own it if someone else is being an idiot? You know, you have to own it because you can't do anything about them. The responsibility lies with you. You must decide, should I really stay with this person or not? What can I do for myself? If they're that bad, you have to really think about distancing yourself. You know, same with maybe a work situation or any other situation that's taking place in your life that you have no control over. You know, responsibility means owning it and working on yourself.
Definitely
regardless.
does.
That's all you have in your power to do. But the amazing thing is, if you take it on board and you say, you know what, I'm going to be responsible from now on. I'm not going to blame that person or this person or that. I'm not going to blame the government. I'm not going to blame anyone else. I will be responsible from this moment on for all the things that I need to do, the choices, the decisions, the actions. I will be responsible for that. Things will start to immediately change in your life.
It's true, and I think some people, if they're hearing that for the first time or at first blush,
they may think it's ludicrous.
Think, well, I feel guilty now.
True.
And all of this and that. I feel guilty, but do you know what? And we said this in a previous episode, you should be feeling a sense of, and I hope you see like this, a liberating type of feeling, because with that comes the freedom of, wow, if it's in my hands, I can do whatever I want.
Correct.
Rather than...
And I can do something about it.
Exactly. Like, that awareness of knowing it's now in your hands. That is a powerful thing. And knowing that you are responsible is ultimately, what we're saying here is, it's empowerment. It's supposed to give you the power again to say, yes, wow, I am responsible. So if I'm responsible for it being something I don't like, I can be responsible for now making it something that I do like.
Right. That's super.
The whole
that's
point
great,
in this thing.
Yeah.
It isn't that kind of thing like, oh, it's all your fault and you should be ashamed and da 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 da. I mean, that doesn't do no one favors. That just doesn't make sense. What we're talking about here is saying, wow, yeah, I put my hands up and I take responsibility of the good and the bad. And the kind of bad things that are maybe going on now, or things that I think I'm actually going to take responsibility for them. And by doing that, I'm now going to
empower
myself and make sure that these things can become good things, or I can get the best out of them, or I can be a better person going forward now.
Correct.
Those are the things that we're talking about, because it ultimately leads to some form of growth. As well.
I absolutely agree with that. It's so, you know, I love the thing you were saying about turning a negative responsibility into a positive responsibility. I love that, because, you know, it's all so important for your life, your growth, your progression in life, and your journey as part of this particular life that you're undergoing. You know what I mean? Because we will all meet with tragedy, disaster, and it's hard to say, hang on, how can I be responsible for any negative thing? It's nothing to do with me. I'm a good person. This shouldn't happen, or this shouldn't be taking place. And as you said, it's like you think I'm a responsible person for the good things, but surely the bad things have nothing to do with me. They're going to affect me, but they have nothing to do with me. So to get to a point in your life where you can say, I'm responsible for it all, is, like you said, it's not saying you make bad things happen. It means how you manage it, how you cope with it, how you, as some people say, how you learn to discipline your disappointment.
And also, it's also, to some extent, have the choices that you've been making been bringing around the same result again and again and again.
Yeah.
Because sometimes something could happen to you, but if someone chooses to grow from it or learn from it, they've had that lesson, and they move forward. But sometimes some people may feel like, oh, this keeps happening, it happens again and again.
You have to look at yourself.
You have to look at yourself as well and be responsible for your choices.
Correct.
Based on that, your actions even after that.
Correct.
That's the level that we're sort of talking about. It's on that sort of level. But the good thing is, as I said, it might at first blush seem like, oh my God, this and that, and the kind of time the cat got hit by the car because I opened the door or something like that. It's
I'm a bad person.
I'm a bad person, like,
because I'm supposed to be responsible for this.
And I think I said it in a previous one, when you're doing these things, you're not doing it to belittle yourself or disempower yourself. It's rather you're doing it with a compassionate ear or understanding. And it's almost being honest. Being honest without negating or without, like, literally doing a witch hunt on yourself type of thing. Because that type of thing is
judging
really,
yourself.
That's really harshly. Self-sabotage, and that's just toxicity and stuff. What you're doing is taking responsibility, being honest with things.
Even even if you have to reflect on a situation and forgive yourself.
Forgiveness is
or forgive another person or yourself or both.
And we've
parties.
done episodes on both.
We've done
self-forgiveness and forgiving others.
We did. If you have to even accommodate those things as part of your responsibility, or you feel I can't go forward. Oh, I can't be responsible because of XYZ. Forgive yourself. For the past, so you're free to move into the present. Forgive yourself for whatever, and you're freeing yourself to go forward with a new responsibility.
I totally agree. For people who do still have that, whether it's a emotional guilt or a thing they can't let go of, forgiveness will have to play a part in that ownership of responsibility. You're right, Jay. We did do an episode of forgiving yourself and forgiving others. Go back and watch if people they need that element to it, then to expand on that. Listen back to those episodes. Oh, you remembered that well. And well done. So on. It's true. As we said, a lot of these things interlink. That's why we've started doing kind of additional episodes around the subjects that have been coming up. It's very, very true. It absolutely is. It's I think this one was a really good one because having that responsibility, you will find that it will start to strengthen you. Because I think a lot of us, we go through a lot of victimhood. And even I've felt victim of it, no pun intended. But and pity, pity, all of those self-pity. But you're waiting for someone or something, or one day for the to rescue you or turn things around. But when you take responsibility and say, "Hey, I didn't want that failure, or I didn't want to be heartbroken like that, or face that massive knock," but
where do I
the
go?
way I've been treating life right now, and the unhealthy habits and all of this type of stuff, even how I'm treating myself and the guilt I might feel and the shame or like whatever, I need to take responsibility and say, wow, even though I didn't want that thing to happen, which did, the way I've been acting and the choices I've been making since it did, that has led me here to a point that I'm still not happy with. It's been my responsibility the whole time.
Wow.
And if you didn't know it, then welcome to the club, because now you do.
Yeah.
And you can say, gosh, this doesn't have to keep going on just because it happened.
Yeah.
It's only going to keep going on if I choose it to still be the thing. And that's the kind of responsibility and clarity.
That's the place you've got to get yourself to, is that kind of growth and understanding within yourself. Probably it ties in with a bit of self-awareness that we spoke about earlier. Sure. But, you know, you've got to get yourself to that place where you can say the words to yourself, I am responsible for all that is going on in my life right now. And therefore you own it, that it's in your hands, no one else's hands. Everything is in your hands.
Yeah.
Choices, so decisions, actions, they all form part of that responsible decision-making process of what to do next. How am I going to go forward and be responsible? What are the things I need to do that reflect my new sort of responsible nature?
Yeah.
You know, what are the things I need to step up to and become? Who do I need to become now that I'm going to be responsible?
That's powerful, because we've talked about it from people who might not want to accept it and make excuses. But what you said was very powerful, I think, for people that are trying to lead a life towards something, maybe achieve something, but they could be procrastinating and things like that, and they know they're a bit lazy.
Yeah.
Who are you becoming? You know, responsibility is saying, who am I becoming? If you're someone who's striving for a certain goal or something like that, but you've been doing something more mind-numbing instead, and you're like, oh, it's so hard, man, I can't make it, it's taking too long, or what? You have to be honest with yourself and take responsibility and saying, are the choices and actions and the things you're doing and the time you're dedicating to whatever it is you want to achieve, have, or do, are you honestly taking responsibility for making sure that you're putting in a good amount of conscious effort that is positive towards where you want to go?
Yeah.
Or have you set some goal but it's just elusive, and your actions and things, and you haven't even taken responsibility for anything, and you do it when you feel like it, but when you don't feel like it, you just chill back and you're just kind of going through life a bit, and you may reach it, you may not, but if you don't, you're still upset because you feel like you should have. Yeah. You know, taking responsibility is also saying, who are you becoming as well, ultimately.
What is the person I will need to become to take on these responsibilities?
Yeah, because once again, it is a form of growth that has to happen. When you have a power that big, there is going to be a form of growth that has to take place. Yeah. There has to be.
And you have to ask yourself, you know, what is it going to take for me to be responsible? You know, for some people it may be the responsibility of having to look after siblings. If you know, an elder person, you know, has left you in a situation where you have to step up. You know, sometimes there's separation, sometimes someone passes, and you know, a young, you know, brother or sister may have to start looking after the younger ones, or varying things. I mean, that's just an example, but you know, obviously there's hundreds of things that you suddenly realize overnight. Sometimes it can be like, oh my gosh, I'm now responsible. Even in work, in a job, you may get promoted, and then you'll now be told you're now responsible for a team, or you know, there's different things to responsibility. But turning that corner, you have to kind of look at yourself and understand that there are changes or growth that you need to be willing to undertake to become
so true.
Whoever you need to be.
Adding to that, analogies. You look at superhero films and stuff.
Yeah.
They have the responsibility for their whole city or whole world or whatever.
I like that.
And it's almost like they really have to dig deep to themselves, but they have to, within the films, they always seem to grow.
Absolutely.
But they always face a challenge.
Always.
As well. And they always have to
come out of
that. And
by being
it,
a better person or growing in some way. Yeah.
Exactly that. And even we see it in sports, if there's a captain of a team, you know, they have a responsibility to make sure everyone's shifting their weight, to make sure everyone is going to be on it, everyone has the same vision, this and that. So it's almost like, you're right, with responsibility, you are going to have to grow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can't approach it with the same thing that's kept you wherever you are. No. Because that, to some extent, for some people, they might have been irresponsible. Yeah. Once you're responsible, and that's the way that I personally see it, it's almost like you're given your power back. Because absolutely. Whether something isn't to your liking, or whether you're not doing as well as you want to do in this part of your life or something, you literally... The power's back in your hands. Yeah, and you have to say, what am I going to do now? Who am I going to become? What actions, what decisions, what choices am I going to make to overcome and be responsible for? Yeah. Isn't it? Wow. Gosh, that was a good one. I hope you enjoyed that. What do you reckon? That was, that was a good one. I mean, talking about different sides of it. Yes. Even using real life examples or different analogies, you can see how big a topic this was. It is huge. It's like almost like we need a part 2, don't we? Yeah. But in kind of ending and summary and stuff like that, when I think about responsibility, I just think, like, I know, like, it's good, or I'm happy to know that I'm responsible, and now I choose to do the right thing. That's the way that I see it for myself. You just feel better by that because decision. Some people, they may come to this with excuses or with their own thing, thinking, nah, but da-da-da and stuff. But responsibility, for me, it drops any excuses you have. Yeah. Because you now recognize, wow, this is all in my hands. Correct. And I personally, for me, I now choose to do the right thing. Yes. So even when things happen and I don't like it, or I might get caught up in the moment and be like, oh, but this sucks, this ain't fair, I go, nah, the responsibility is in my hands, and I now choose to do the right thing. And that's how I sort of see it. And from that, I'm able to make a better choice. Yeah, and I think that's a great guideline for people watching or listening, to listen to what you've just said and say, that's great steps to go forward with this, isn't it? Yeah, just something like that will just help you get on the right path. Get on the right path again. Yeah. You know, when you go here, we'll just put it back in your hands. Yeah. And in a way that doesn't come with but I'm not ready to be responsible. I'm not ready, you know. Yeah. No, it's in my hands, and I now choose to do the right thing. And that's, I love that. That's just as simple as it needs to be. Putting everything in your hands means that you are empowered to do what you choose to take the next steps forward. And what I'd add to that is, some people may be scared of that. Of course. Some people may be scared, oh my gosh, it's in my hands now. We will all be. And oh my gosh, like, this is more than I wanted. Yeah. You know, but as some people would say, welcome to life. I know. The more I'm growing, the more I realise that. And I have a saying that the universe doesn't give you what you're not prepared for. That's exactly it. So if you reach that point, trust me, whether you realise it or not, you are prepared. Yes. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are. It's so ready. True. And once again, we're coming down to, now you're responsible for the choice you take. Yeah. Do you not grow and stay where you are and in the same situation? Or do you say, wow, it's in my hands, I choose to do the right thing, I choose to take it on, do something new, and then grow from it, and then find even a strength you never knew you had. Exactly. Because sometimes you can't, like, even for me, we're talking about this just before we go, but there's been things that have come in my way and I've been like, nah, this is too much for me. I don't really know about this, you know. You think, but can I even handle it? When you just go for it, little steps. As we said back in the day, like, let me try. Yeah. Just let me try, and then you start to do it. you even recognize a strength or something in yourself
that you never knew you had,
and you never would have known.
had it not been for that stretch that you had to take on.
So but
all that responsibility,
that decision is your responsibility to choose whether you like
go forward,
experience that and go forward, or whether you stay stuck and stay complaining and try to put your head in the sand
and pretend it's not happening,
and life's happening to you, rather than you're also playing a part in it, in this whole thing.
Wow, love that. Well, I really hope everyone enjoyed that. Gosh.
I hope you did.
It's like we didn't want to end it. We still got so much more to share.
As you said, I'm sure part 2 in the future will come about.
We will. No doubt it will come up again in some way. We'll take it from another angle, but that's the thing with these things, is once you get started, you just don't want to end. But I think my battery's going to run out.
Okay, so on that note, if you want to watch more videos, then you know where they are. They're up on the channel. If you want to join the channel, be a part of the fam, then you're always free to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to find out when we have new releases coming out as well. And if you like the video, then give it a thumbs up and give it a like as well.
That's great. And don't forget to leave your comments. Look forward to reading them and responding to those as well. And if there's anything else, it'll be in the description.
Exactly that. So, take responsibility, move yourself forward, take some time to know yourself and start doing the right thing.
It's all in your hands.
For this one, it's all literally in your hands. So for this one, we're done. This is MumNSon. I've been up to the next one. We'll see you then.